Let me ask you a question. Did OJ really do it? Now, let me ask you another question. What is the most broken item in Minecraft? Some may say it's the Totem of Undying, a farmable one-use item that lets you cheat death. Or some may say it's the Elytra, an item that lets you soar through the air to anywhere, making every other form of transportation obsolete. Or maybe it's the Mending enchantment that lets your gear never break. Now, all of those answers I'd agree with somewhat, but let me make a case for what I think is the true most overpowered item in Minecraft history. An item so broken that it ruined the game. You've read the title, you know what I'm talking about, it's the shield. But why is the shield so broken? Well, to answer that, we need to go back to version 1.9, the infamous combat update, the most controversial update in Minecraft history. Now, I'm not going to go into every little change this update had, just the important stuff for this video. Before the update, blocking was done with a sword by holding right click. You'd enter a blocking stance that slowed you down and prevented attacking, but most damage taken would be halved. After the update, however, blocking was removed and replaced with the shield. Now, the shield was almost the same as blocking. It slowed you down and stopped you from attacking, but instead it reduced melee damage by 67% and projectile damage by 100%. So really, it was just a better form of blocking that heavily nerfed bow spam, a strategy I'm sure everybody watching this absolutely hates. Now, if the shield stayed like this, I wouldn't be making this video. But just 2 updates later, Mojang changed it so that instead of blocking 67% of melee damage and 100% of projectile damage, it now blocked 100% of all damage. And it stayed that way to this day. Now, there are a lot of problems that come from having an item like this, and I've boiled them down to 3 main issues. Issue number 1 is combat just isn't engaging. Is a skeleton shooting at you? Just block it. Is a creeper about to explode? Just block it. Are you being swarmed by mobs? Just block and run away. Almost every mob can be countered by just holding up a shield, and that just isn't good. It makes everything trivial and frankly boring. If you can negate every attack from every enemy, are you really fighting? At that point, the fight is just dealing hits to a punching bag and hitting right click every so often. It isn't engaging. And with such a powerful item, you'd expect that getting it would be a challenge. Which brings me to issue 2, you not subscribing. Look, I put a lot of effort into these videos, so if you like what you've heard so far, please subscribe. It really helps me out. Okay, but the real issue 2 is, it's dirt cheap. 1 shield requires 1 iron ingot and 6 wooden planks. So for half a tree and 1 piece of metal, you become immune to 99% of all dangers in Minecraft. Now, that's like paying $1 for a bulletproof vest that also pulverizes every single threat in the area. Look, I'm not saying powerful items can't be cheap, but this item, this game-breaking brick wall, can be crafted within the first 10 minutes of a new world. That is insane. You don't have to beat any boss, you don't need rare materials, you don't even have to go underground in some cases. Just chop a tree, make a furnace, and mine 1 iron ore, and boom, you have the strongest defensive tool in the entire game. Compare that to other strong items, like the Totem, which requires going far and facing tough raids or mansions, or the Elytra, which requires beating the game and hoping RNG blesses you with an end city ship, or Netherite armor, where you need diamonds, ancient debris, gold, and a bastion template. But the shield? You can get it in the first day, and that's where the real problem starts. Issue number 3. All strategic risk is removed from the game. In Minecraft, you used to have to prepare because things were risky. Going to a cave meant preparing blocks, food, tools, armor, because really 1 wrong move or a surprise creeper could mean death. Now, just carry a shield. Skeleton? Block it. Creeper? Block it. Zombies? Block it. You get the idea. You can basically just raw dog it most of the time because you have a shield. The risk, the thing that gave adventure weight and tension, is gone because when danger arrives, you just hold right click. Now, there are still places where this tension still exists, but guess what they all have in common? There's always a hazard that threatens you whether you have a shield or not. You don't need to think about what it is you're getting into. You don't need to react fast or take calculated risks. You just hide behind a wooden board and absorb everything. If you're never really in danger, why prepare? Shields remove the need for preparation a lot of the time. They take a survival game and make it feel safe. So there it is. It's less engaging, too cheap, and removes danger. Now, it's easy to say, duh, old game better, new game bad. But I do like the idea of a shield in Minecraft. So I'm gonna rework it. Based on the 3 problems I laid out, here's how I'd rework the shield to make Minecraft more engaging, balanced, and more importantly, a little more dangerous again. Keep in mind, I am no game developer, so if my ideas are bad, don't hesitate to tell me in the comments below. Now, we'll tackle issue 2 first, since it's the easiest to fix. Look at this shield. It has a silver border around it, so that should show in its crafting recipe. Now, instead of needing 1 iron ingot, it should require 4, like this. Now, I didn't want to make it 8, because that's frankly a bit too harsh, given the other changes coming. Next is tackling issue 1. To fix this, I propose implementing every gamer's favorite game mechanic, parrying. Instead of holding right click forever, blocking now becomes a timed action. Click once to raise your shield for a short period. If you block no attacks, the shield lowers and goes on a cooldown, like when hit by an axe. But if you do block an attack, the shield lowers with no cooldown, letting you block again immediately. Now, the window to block would be pretty lenient, maybe half a second to a second, so it's not too harsh for new players. I'd also bring back shield knockback from Bedrock, so melee mobs aren't a pain to deal with. I think this makes combat more engaging, rewarding skill, since good players can chain blocks together and block more attacks. My changes are mostly geared towards PvE, but for PvP, this shouldn't shake things up much, since people already use shields and quick bursts to bait or block hits, so it wouldn't disrupt the meta too much. Now, issue 3 has a much simpler fix. I reduced the shield's durability from 337 to 100. Since players could still technically block everything, this forces even the best of players to think more strategically. You can't just spam blocks or your shield's just gonna break quickly. This combined with the 4 iron cost discourages over-reliance on the shield and brings back danger. But if you really want to protect your shield, just enchant it with Unbreaking, which requires more preparation and feels like natural progression. And yeah, those are my shield changes for Minecraft. If you agree, great. If you don't, you're wrong. But on a real note, tell me what you'd change in the comments. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.